Welcome back everyone to our latest review on Middle Eastern football. Remember to check out the link below for hyperlinks on the league you prefer, and let's continue on watching as we tell the region's untold stories. Remember to follow us on Twitter. We begin in Dubai, where the Dera derby was played between red-hot Asian Champions League finalists Al Ahly Dubai and Al Shabab. Al Shabab's Joe scored a penalty that wasn't enough to help the Greens earn a point, but Lima, once again, was magnificent, as you can see. Al Ahly faced falling Al Jazeera just 4 days later, where as you can see Lima opened the scoring yet again. Khamis Ismail, although, replied with his first goal of the week. Yet, despite Khamis Ismail's fantastic equalizer, a goal-scoring spree from the Red Knights sent Al Jazeera back to Abu Dhabi with 0 points in their hands. So, as you can see, a big talking point is how Al Ahly now stand behind league leaders Al Ain, trailing by a single point, yet with 2 games in hand. And who do Al Ahly face next? That is, of course, Al Ain. You couldn't make this up. Both teams will look to attack from the front and gain ground via their playmakers Ribeiro and Omar Abdulrahman. Lima, again, despite his 3-goal drought against Guangzhou and Al Wasl, has come back to life. Speaking of Al Ain, they played dark horses Al Nasr in a supposed top of the table clash, only for the Ainawi to dampen the Blues' hopes by sweeping them up at their home stadium. The team is functioning well in the partial absence of Babel and the return of Saeed Al Kathiri. As we can see here, Mohamed Fawzi is also an adept choice at right back. Looking at the lower mid-table, Fujairah battled Diba in the first ever Fujairah derby in the professional era. Fujairah have been doing well in 7th place with good players such as Hassan Ma'touk, yet heavy relegation contenders Diba won via a lovely strike after great tactical and organisational work from Theo Booker in the managerial dugout. Indeed, we may see the return of Al Wasl as they entered the top 4 for the first time this season thanks to Caio Canedo. Fans are slowly returning to the stands too, which is something to look forward to for the Waslawis. 2-1 down with 3 minutes to go, Al Wahda, also known as the Annabi, scored 2 goals in 5 injury time minutes to ensure that this season's team to beat, Emirates Ras Al Khaimah, exited their stadium with nothing. Aguirre's changes fueled the comeback, and despite an indifferent start to the season for Al Wahda, fans are literally begging for Aguirre to stay. Somehow, Ismail Matar's winner was absolutely ruthless, and a captain's performance from him. We move on to the League of Iranian football, starting off with the relegation battle and Ahvaz derby between Foulad and Istiqlal Ahvaz. Both teams were locked at 1-1 in injury time before what was seen as a dubious penalty decision helped Foulad earn a winner and move out of the relegation zone in the process. Istiqlal Ahvaz fans were angered with the referee's decision. Although the game did end at 1-1, Persepolis could have won by 3 had it not been their city finishing once again. For all the goals Mehdi Taremi has, his conversion rate has been disastrous and fans have gone to social network to voice their concerns, commenting in hundreds and thousands on his Facebook photos. Persepolis players also deleted all their photos on Instagram in solidarity with Taremi. Naft, meanwhile, will have been happy to gain a point as they look to move away from the relegation zone. If we look at the table, we can see that the ultimate shock is Istiqlal Khuzestan, who we didn't show in the highlight reel today. Their magnificent start to the season continues and their defensive work has proved vital to their season, especially under hot temperatures in Khuzestan. They creep up on namesake Istiqlal as they bid to make an ultimate shock towards the league title in the Persian Gulf Pro League this season. Naif Hazazi is back from the dead, scoring a trademark header and helping Al-Nasr to a 3-1 win over Al-Fatah to ensure that they're still not far off from an unlikely title challenge. After that 50 million Riyal move in the summer, Naif Hazazi earned his first brace of the season and will now look forward to pleasing the Nasrawis over the course of the season.
مشاها إلى كواك إلى البريك، عرضية في مكان بتعدي، تصويبة من نواف إدواردو يا رب.
Khelmin Rivas scored the second goal for Al-Ittihad with 20 minutes to go after they drew drawing 1-1 with Al-Khalij in the Dawri Abdul Latif Jamil, only for Al-Khalij to equalize in the last 7 minutes of the game. Al-Ittihad were not the only team from Jeddah to lose points as Al-Ahli, despite their 3-0 win against Al-Ittihad the week before, dropped points against Al-Faisali, and not only that, but Omar Al-Suma has been banned for 2 games after an incident with one of the Al-Faisali players, and he will miss the Al-Hilal game in a few weeks' time. A big blow for the Ahlawi, who are still undefeated until now. And this was Al-Ahli's problem last season when they went undefeated yet still lost the league title. They are more concerned about the record of staying undefeated, while Al-Hilal, who did lose 1 game this season, continue their search towards top of the table. Definitely the match of the week, first place against second. Al-Rayyan triumphed in an exciting match. Fans came up with a tifo as Rayyan looked to extend their record to 10 wins in a row, which they did. But Abdulrazak Hamdullah showed that he is still the top scorer and doing it well as he came off on late into the game to score an 86-minute equalizer only for Tabata to get the winner minutes later. You couldn't make this stuff up. Hussein Amouta in his last match for Al Sadd loses his first game of the season despite not really having the best start, and in this Classico, or this semi-Classico against Lakhouia, they held them for a good 80 minutes before the latter and the league champions of last season took the lead and won the game. And as you can see, the table, Rayyan 30 points, 0 losses, 0 draws, and Al Sadd and Al Jaish is still close behind, but set to move even further behind after Rayyan showed no signs of stopping. Lakhouia, champions of last year, still away from the title scene. Moving on to the rest of the nations, let's start off with Kuwait, where arguably the best goal of the week and one of the best of the season was scored by Jordanian international and Salmiya player Uday Saifi against the league champions Al Kuwait in a 1-1 draw that saw both teams share the points and stop on their tracks in their trailing of Qadsiya SC at the top of the table. Well, another week and another story in the Omani Pro League. Dhafar's new manager Muzaffar Jabbar took them to a 4-1 win over Suwaiq, but that's not the talking point of the week. He did leave Al Aruba, Omani League champions, due to health problems, only to sign for Dhafar 4 hours later. Sounds a bit like lying to me. Dropped points but stayed top of the table after their magnificent fan base washed once again. If we remember to last season, Sahar finished in the relegation playoffs and now take the lead at the top of the table. Can they keep it up with, strikers Vednan Jerk and Admir Malkik doing their best to keep them, or the Crocodiles at the top of the table? After sacking their manager, Mohammed al-Shamlan last week, Rifaa went on to win in one of the biggest games of their season against Al-Muharrak in the Bahraini Classico. Samir bin Shamam did a great job to win the 3 points in his first game, and now in the process, Muharrak are asking for their manager Khalid Taj to be sacked. Here, Jordanian club Wahdat defeated Thatrans in a hotly contested match that was decided in the last 20 minutes in front of the huge Wahdat fan base. Although thankfully and luckily for Wahdat, Akram Salman's team did gain the 3 points in a very important game as they chased Shabab al-Urdun at the top of the table. Tishreen grab a win in the second week of the Syrian Premier League with this fantastic header scored by Ali Khalil, and we see Jable, their fans, this season, despite all the problems going on in Syria, despite the war threatening them from going to matches, they've still shown up in great numbers, and the Jablawi expect a title win this season, no doubt about that. Al Ahd played Ansar in what would be a title-deciding match in Lebanese League, although both teams are still quite a few points away from Safa and Shabab al-Sahab at the top 2 of the table, although brilliant pass from Abdul Razzaq al-Hussein led top scorer Mohammadou Drami to score the winner and the only goal of the game. Finally, it is in Palestine where Hilal al-Quds finally got rid of manager Jordanian Diyan Saleh after their 2-1 loss to Markaz Balata, despite taking the lead early in the game. Hilal al-Quds are in the relegation zone for the first time ever and are stuck in last place, even losing to Silwan last week in a relegation 6-pointer. How will Hilal al-Quds bounce back? And they have announced that they will replace Diyan Saleh with Amjad Taha, one of Hilal al-Quds' sons.